Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Happy New Year. I hope you guys all had a great holiday weekend with your friends and loved ones. I'm so excited to be sitting here filming my first video of 2018 for you guys. So I'm going to be filming part 2 of the Q&A I filmed for you last week, and if you missed part 1, I will leave a link for it in the cards of this video for you guys to get caught up. But let's go ahead and jump right into the video. I have the questions pulled up on my phone already because I have a feeling this video is going to be really long like the last one was, because you guys asked a lot of questions and a lot of great questions. So I'm gonna dive right into it. So the first question is from Sarah92 Armstrong, and she asked, how did you know you were ready for kids? My husband and I are trying to determine when we want to start having them and trying for them. So I don't know if I ever said this publicly on my channel. Maybe I have. But before we had Bailey, we actually had a miscarriage. And we weren't trying for that baby that we miscarried. It just kind of happened. And once we went through the miscarriage, we kind of realized like we were ready for kids, and we were so heartbroken. And so we thought we were ready for children. And honestly, I don't really think there's ever a point in your life where you're like, I'm ready to have kids. I think growing into motherhood is such a journey, and you kind of learn and grow along the way. There's not a perfect time to start having kids, I don't think, in my opinion. The next question is from Marcella_9091, and she asked, how do you keep your home so clean with both girls? I feel like I'm always cleaning and have to work super hard to keep my house clean. And I feel the exact same way. So cleaning my house is another full-time job for me, but I think it's very important for me as a person. I cannot focus or do anything, honestly, when my house is a disaster. So I just try and make it a point to clean up as I go. I'm very good about that. Obviously, my kids don't know how to clean up after themselves. Bailey has actually gotten a lot better at that because I'm trying to implement to her that you need to put away a toy before you take out a new one. So I think that's helped a ton. But honestly, I don't really have a great answer for you. I just kind of like clean as I go, and I really try and make it a point to clean up every night before I go to bed. And that way when I come downstairs, I have a fresh start to my day, and that seems to really help too. Evan_Markowitz asked, where do y'all live? Is your house small? And so we live in Southern California in San Clemente, and we live in military housing. So I wouldn't say our house is big by any means, but it's not small. I think it's the perfect size for our family size right now. I'd say it's like a townhouse style home. Okay, the next question is from Ellie Edwards, and she said, how did you pick Bailey and Shay's names? They are precious. Also, where is your favorite places to shop for yourself? I love your style. Thank you. So how we picked Bailey and Shay's names, honestly, there was no really rhyme or reason to it. We just kind of like kept saying names to each other, and those were the names that we agreed on. Shay was a little bit harder to convince Adam to accept that name, but he came around to it eventually. And Bailey, I remember just saying it to Adam one day, and he was like, oh, I like that name. And honestly, if you guys have husbands or significant others, you know that it's kind of hard to agree on names, at least it was for us. So when he took to that idea, we just ran with it. And to answer the second part of your question, the places that I shop out the most for myself are H&M, Zara, and ASOS. So the next question is from Lynn, and she asked, how much sleep do I get, and how do you stay motivated to look beautiful and clean your house on lack of sleep? Okay, so to answer the first part of your question, I would say I get an average of 6 hours of sleep every night, which is not a lot by any means. I am a person that loves my sleep, but that's just not feasible with what I do for a living, my YouTube channel, and with 2 small children. There's no way for me to get like a full 8 to 12 hours of sleep. If I could every night, I would love to get like a full 12 hours of sleep. That's just not feasible, like I said. So I get around 6 hours of sleep every night because I go to bed around 1 a.m. because I'm up editing videos for you guys. And then Shay usually wakes up for her morning bottle anywhere from like 6 to 7 in the morning. And then after that, I can go back to sleep until she wakes up, but some days, most days, I'm just kind of like laying in bed on my phone waiting for them to wake up. Because I can't get back to sleep. So yeah, I get an average of 6 hours of sleep a day. And to answer the second part of your question, how I stay motivated to get ready and clean my house, I just make it a priority of mine, I guess. Keeping a clean home is very important to me for my sanity, and I'm on camera all the time, so you guys would get sick of seeing me in no makeup and looking grungy in my sweats and stuff every day. So I make it a point to get up and get ready and make sure my house is clean just because it makes me feel better as a person. Okay, the next question is from Lynn too. She asked, do you plan on going back to work when the girls are in school? Okay, so this is a good question, but honestly, my YouTube channel is my job. So I make a full income off of YouTube, and I'm so blessed and fortunate to be able to, and it's all thanks to you guys. But yeah, that's my job, so I don't plan on going back to work. This is my work. The next question is from Kimberly Rube, and she asked my top 3 must-haves for 3 to 6 months, my favorite order at Starbucks, and my favorite staple meals to make for dinner. Okay, so off the top of my head, my favorite products for 3 to 6 months, definitely the Fisher-Price floor seat. We didn't use that with Bailey, but we used it with Shay every single day since we got it. She loved it. And then gripe water or probiotic drops are great, definite must-have. And then the Bumbo we use for in the kitchen, if that's where we're gonna be, we can place her in that so that she can hang out with us in there. So those are my top 3 must-haves for 3 to 6 months. Those are just off the top of my head though. And then my Starbucks order, I normally get a Venti iced caramel macchiato with soy milk. And then my go-to dinner ideas, probably taco salad and then anything in the crock pot. Jordan Groom asked, do you like being a military wife, especially with children? My husband is in the Army. Okay, so I kind of briefly touched on this in my last Q&A, but this is kind of like all I know, so I don't really know anything else. But yeah, I mean, I enjoy it. There's lots of pros and cons, obviously. We have just been very blessed that Adam has never been on a combat deployment since we've been married and had children. So he got back from a combat deployment in Afghanistan right before I met him. So I thankfully wasn't married to him at the time, or I probably would be worried sick every single day. And I know a lot of women are worried sick every single day because they have small children at home and they're constantly wondering if their significant other is okay. So my heart goes out to those of you that had to experience something like that. I couldn't even imagine the heartache that must be. But overall, being in the military has been great for our family so far. Next question is from Kate Lope, and she said, my question for the Q&A is, how much screen time, if any, do you allow Bailey? I feel like my 3-year-old is watching the iPad more often these days since my second daughter was born, and I'm definitely feeling a bit of mom guilt about it. Just wondering if you can relate. So I would say on average, Bailey gets maybe an hour or 2 of screen time a day. It was definitely more than that when Shay was first born. I relied on the TV a ton, and I had a little bit of guilt, but I mean, honestly, you're in survival mode in the beginning, so anything that can help you during those first couple weeks, go for it, even if that's screen time. But I don't really allow Bailey to watch TV. We have an Apple TV, so she watches a lot of YouTube videos that are very informative. So if you go on YouTube and just search learning videos for toddlers, so many things come up, so I don't feel as guilty for letting her watch those kinds of things, but I do try and keep it at a minimum if possible. Okay, I need to like uncross my legs because they're starting to hurt from sitting like this for so long. But the next question is from Whitney Eve Baines, and she asked my best tip or advice for expecting a second baby. I need all the advice I can get. Would you say it's been the hardest thing having a toddler and a newborn? So yeah, it was very difficult in the beginning because of the sleep regression that Bailey went through. I don't know if that's normal. I've talked to a lot of other moms and their kids went through the same thing. So I think just being aware that that is a definite possibility that your toddler could go through a sleep regression. And what I did that definitely helped was to make a lot of meals and freeze them. That saved a ton of time in the kitchen because that's the last thing that you want to do is just slave away in the kitchen when you want to be cuddling your tiny newborn. So that helped a ton. Don't have any expectations on how your toddler is going to react with your newborn. In the beginning, Bailey kind of completely ignored her. And it was kind of sad for me in the beginning, but I knew that they're eventually going to bond, and they have totally come around. So yeah, I mean, going from a mom of 1 to a mom of 2 is very challenging in the beginning, but it does get easier, so just know that. The next question is from NCIS_2Dency, and they asked if you had a 3rd child and it's a boy, what would his name be? So I'm not going to tell you guys the name, but I will tell you that we do have a name picked out if we do have a boy. We actually had a name picked out ever since we found out we were pregnant the first time, and when we miscarried that baby, we had a name for that baby, and we had a really strong feeling it was a boy, so we picked out a boy name. We picked out the first name and the middle name, and the first name has a significant meaning for Adam, and then the middle name has a very significant meaning for both Adam and I. So safe to say that if we have a boy, his name is already set in stone. Carly Reppel asked, are you planning on having any more children? And we don't really know yet. I would love to have at least 1 or 2 more. But we were actually talking about this a little bit last night. We were just like playing around with the idea. And so I don't know, we're not 100% sure yet what we're gonna do, but if we do plan on having another baby, I don't think we would try until Shay was at least in preschool. Mommy on the Go +2 asked, does your family and friends watch your channel? Yes, actually most of them do. My best friend watches every single video, I think, and then her sister is pregnant with her first baby, and so I think she watches my pregnancy updates. And then my parents, they watch every single video. I know my brother watches some of them too, and he's commented on a couple of them too, actually. And then Adam's side of the family, even like his aunts and uncles and stuff, I think watch every single video. And then my dad's side of the family, a lot of my aunts watch all my videos. So yeah, I'm very blessed that I have such supportive friends and family. Mommy on the Go +2 also asked what my biggest pet peeve is. And that's a really good question. I love hearing other people's pet peeves too. I would have to think about that, but the first one that comes to mind is when people leave like condiments on the outside rim of the bottle, like the ketchup bottle or the jelly bottle is the worst. Not the jelly bottle, the jelly jar. When it's like dripping off the side on the outside and it gets all like gross, that is one of my biggest pet peeves. I cannot stand that. She also asked what I do in my free time. What free time? Okay, Bria Jackson asked, how do you keep your relationship alive with 2 children? Love your videos. Thank you. So I'm going to be posting my New Year's resolutions on Wednesday, so I'll talk a little bit more about this, but that is one of my New Year's resolutions actually going into 2018 is to start carving out time specifically for Adam and I, so I'm still working on that. Okay, next question is from Julie Ann Cobb, and she asked what your favorite place to shop for home decor is. And most of the things in my home are either from Target, Home Goods, Hobby Lobby, TJ Maxx, Marshalls, stores like that. For the most part, Target and Home Goods though. Okay, the next question is for Adam actually, and it says, what does Adam think about Bailey and Shay dating? After what age will he approve them the right to date? And that's a good question. I have no idea. You'd have to ask Adam. Sarah Elizabeth Omar asked, how did you get the girls to sleep at night as newborns? So as newborns, I feel like that's all they do is sleep. But if you're asking like where they slept and how they slept, for the first couple weeks up until I think it was like the 5th week, they were in our rooms and Bailey slept in the mama-roo. She absolutely loved that. And Shay hated it. She liked the Fisher-Price. We had the chandelier swing. And she loved that. So they slept both in swings, and then they were both swaddled, but we figured out later that Shay actually hated being swaddled, but Bailey loved the swaddle. But yeah, hopefully that answers your question. The next question is, how do you make time to be glamorous all the time with 2 kids? Okay, so I'm definitely not glamorous all the time by any means. I'm actually in Adam's boxers right now while we film this, and slippers. I guess I just look put together because I have my hair and makeup done, but how I find time is I shower at night. I do my hair before I go to bed most nights, and that way my hair is already curled, and then I just clip in my 1 row of extensions, and if I need to touch up, it takes me like less than 30 seconds to curl a few pieces, but most of the time I don't even need to do that. And then my makeup routine takes me like less than 10 minutes, especially now that I have lash extensions. So I just wake up maybe like 15-20 minutes before the girls wake up and put my makeup on and get a cute comfy outfit on. Most of the days I just wear like leggings or like jeans and a cute top and some cute slides or something. But it really doesn't take much effort at all. But most days I am filming myself and I'm on camera, so that's another thing that motivates me. But having my hair and makeup done and having a cute simple outfit on definitely makes me feel better, and I get a lot more accomplished throughout the day. Annalisa Nicole asked, how has YouTube changed your life and has it been for the better? And that's another great question. I feel like YouTube has definitely changed my life for the better. I am now able to stay at home with my babies and provide an income financially for my family. and be at home with them and raise them, and I don't have to have an outside source come in and raise my babies for me while I'm out doing work outside of the home. So I feel like that is such a huge blessing for me, because you guys know being a mom was my biggest dream in life. So the fact that I'm able to raise them and make an income off of what I do, I feel like that alone is such a huge blessing for me. The next question is from Tara Clark, and she asked, what made you start YouTube? Was it hard and were you scared? So what made me start YouTube in the beginning was I wanted to document my pregnancy with Shay, because with Bailey I had documented her pregnancy on a blog, but I thought it would be really fun to look back on videos. So I decided to finally pull the trigger, because I've been wanting to start my own channel for years and years. And so I finally started at like 19 weeks with her. I think that was my first video I ever uploaded on YouTube, was my 19-week pregnancy update. But the funny thing is I used my iPhone actually. And I used my iPhone up until August, when Adam bought me this camera that I'm using now for my birthday. So I used my iPhone and I propped it up in a window and used natural light. I didn't have any lighting or a tripod or anything. I just used my iPhone and myself, and that's how I built my channel. And to answer the last part of your question, was I scared? I don't think I was scared. Maybe in a sense, yeah, because it did take a lot of courage to finally upload my first video, but I'm so glad I did. Bethany K. Sierra asked, how did you get started doing YouTube? What made you want to start, and how did you learn to do it? So the first two questions are pretty similar to the previous question, but how I learned to do YouTube. So I've been watching YouTube videos for years and years before I ever even started my own channel. So I feel like that helped a ton, because I kind of knew what I wanted to do. But honestly, I just self-taught everything that I know today. If you go on the search bar in YouTube and you type in anything that you want to know, there will be hundreds and hundreds of videos for you to watch. So that's basically how I learned. I just learned from watching other YouTube videos. Okay, I'm going to answer a couple more questions. I feel like I've been talking forever, but there is quite a few questions left. Maybe I'll do like a YouTube live or an Instagram live or something. Let me know if you guys would be interested in watching that, if you guys would even watch that. And then I can answer like the rest of the questions on there. So let me know in the comments if that's something that you guys would like to watch. But the next question I'll answer is Bailey potty trained? And yeah, she's actually in the midst of potty training right now actually, and she's doing great. I'm so proud of her. But we had actually started potty training her. The first time we started was a month before Shay was born, and it was an absolute disaster. It was such a nightmare, so we just threw in the towel and decided to try again later. And I'm so glad we tried again when we did, because she's doing amazing now. Nicole Metheny asked, how did you get started on YouTube? So I already answered that, and then she also asked what kind of camera and equipment I used. So I will leave everything linked in the description box for you guys, but the camera that I'm using is the Canon EOS M5, and I use that mostly for vlogging, but we have an additional adapter and lens that we use for sit-down videos, so I will leave everything linked for you guys. But the tripod we got at Best Buy, and then the two lights that I'm using right now are super inexpensive. I think they're like 60 bucks or something, and I got them off of Amazon. And then the microphone that I'm using, I don't even know what it's called actually. Adam got it for me, but it works great. I feel like the sound quality in my videos are way better than they used to be, but I will leave all the links in the description for you guys. Okay, Haley asked where my TV stand is from. I get this question so much, so I will try and find it for you guys and link it. It's from Target. Okay, I'm gonna answer one more question, and it's from Katie427, and she asked, what's your motivation in life? And hands down, without a doubt, obviously my two kids are what motivate me every day. I want to try and give them the best life possible. I feel like every mom would say that, and it's just the truth. If you have kids, obviously you want to give your kids the best life you can. But beyond that, I have goals that I want to achieve, and I have them written down on a piece of paper. So I have large goals that I want to achieve, and then I have realistic goals that I can start checking off my list little by little. And once you start crossing those off, you feel such a sense of accomplishment, and that alone gives me so much more motivation to start crossing off my bigger goals and start reaching those goals. So I feel like if you guys are lacking motivation, start writing some goals down for yourself and make them realistic goals. That way you can start crossing them off your list list, and you'd be surprised on how much that motivates you. But that is it for this Q&A. Thank you guys so much for sending in your questions. I loved filming this for you guys and connecting with you on a more personal level, so I'll definitely be doing more Q&As in the future. Don't forget to let me know in the comments if you guys would be interested in me doing a U Live or an Instagram Live, because I'd totally be open to doing that if you guys would be interested in watching. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. Be sure to give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, subscribe if you're new, and I will see you guys very soon. Bye.